Those who speak don't know, and those who know don't speak. I don't know if that's true or not, but I know that by and large the press doesn't care who really knows what as long as they've got a quote. Last Friday, we had our week-ahead meeting in the Roosevelt Room. Some of you were there, most of you weren't, but I'm talking to all of you now. Bruno Gianelli and I were leading a discussion about whether or not the president should stop in Kansas on his way back from the West Coast. And I remarked that the vice president is polling better than the president right now in the Plain States. And that if the president is reelected, it's going to be on the vice president's coattails. That remark made its way to a White House reporter. We're a group. We're a team. From the president and Leo on through, we're a team. We win together. We lose together. We celebrate and we mourn together. And defeats are softened and victories sweetened because we did them together. And if you don't like this team, then there's the door. It's great to be in the know. It's great to have the scoop, to have the skinny. To be able to go to a reporter and say, I know something you don't know. And so the press becomes your constituents and you sell out the team. So, an item will appear in the paper tomorrow and it'll be embarrassing to me and embarrassing to the president. I'm not going to have a witch hunt. I'm not going to huff and puff. I'm not going to take anyone's head off. I'm simply going to say this. You're my guys. And I'm yours. And there's nothing I wouldn't do for you.
Walter died. Who are you?
I'm Toby Ziegler. Walter was wearing my coat and it had my business card.
You want your coat back?
No.
A northeasterly wind off the Chesapeake.
George, did you know your brother fought in Korea?
Well, I'm sure he didn't mean nothing.
No, he...
Sometimes people start things and they...
No, he was in the Marines about 45 years ago.
Yeah, I think I remember.
He was given a medal.
Yeah?
It's called the Purple Heart. It's for getting wounded in battle. Your brother is entitled to a proper funeral with mourners, and I think he deserves an honor guard. And you don't know me, but I'm an influential person. I'm a very powerful person, and I would like to arrange it.
A funeral?
Are you going to be here tomorrow?
Yeah.
So if I come and pick you up in the morning, and then I'll bring you back after.
I'll make sure he's here.
Will you?
Hi.
Yes.
How you doing?
I'm fine, thank you, sir.
Apparently, I've arranged for an honor guard for somebody.
Yes, sir, I'm sorry.
No, just tell me, is there anything else I've arranged for? We're still in NATO, right?
Yes, sir.
What's going on?
A homeless man died last night, a Korean War veteran who was wearing a coat I gave to the Goodwill. It had my card in it.
Toby, you're not
Took
responsible.
an hour and 20 minutes for the ambulance to get there. A Lance Corporal, United States Marine Corps, 2nd of the 7th. I got better treatment in Panmunjom.
Toby, if we start pulling strings like this, you don't think every homeless veteran will come out of the woodwork?
I can only hope, sir.
When is this thing?
I'm going to pick up his brother and go there now.
Mr. President? Sir, your absence in the other room is conspicuous.
Okay.
Toby, I'd like to come along.
You're all bothering me. I want to be left alone. Clearly, the only way that's going to happen is to be alone, so I'm sorry, but I'm going to have to let you all go. Except the Yankees and the Knicks. And the Yankees and the Knicks are going to need someone to play. So keep the Red Sox and the Lakers, and the Laker girls, and the Palm. And we'll need to keep the people who work at the Palm. That's it, though. The Yankees, the Red Sox, the Knicks, the Lakers, the Laker girls, and anyone who works at the Palm. Sports, Laker girls, and well-prepared steak. That's all I need. Sometimes I like to mix it up with Italian. And Chinese. All right, you can all stay, but don't bug me. You're on probation. Don't forget, I was this close to banishing you.
This is Toby Ziegler, and actually, he's in charge of crafting our message to the public.
And today, that message is...
Don't bug me.
That's right.
Nice beard.
My choice, sister. And by the way, there's nothing wrong with a religion whose laws say a man's got to wear a beard or cover his head or wear a collar. It's when violation of these laws become a crime against the state, not your parents, that we're talking about lack of choice. Islamic extremist is to Islamic as KKK is to Christianity. That's about right. That's a good religious analogy. What's a political analogy? What's an analogy using governments?
They don't have a government. They have the Taliban. They have the government of Afghanistan.
Taliban isn't the recognized government of Afghanistan. The Taliban took over the recognized government of Afghanistan. And there's your political analogy.
What do you mean?
When you think of Afghanistan, think of Poland. When you think of the Taliban, think of the Nazis. When you think of the citizens of Afghanistan, think of Jews in concentration camps. A friend of my dad's was at one of the camps. He used to come over to the house, and he and my dad used to shoot some pinochle. He said he once saw a guy at the camp kneeling and praying. He said, "What are you doing?" The guy said he was thanking God. And my dad's friend said, "What could you possibly be thanking God for?" He said, "I'm thanking God for not making me like them." Bad people can't be recognized on sight. There's no point in trying.
Actually, we already covered that.
It's worth covering twice, don't you agree?
I do.
Yeah.
Pinocle's a card game?
Yeah, I've changed my mind again. Kill them all.
Laker girls?
No. All right.
What was the first act of terrorism?
What was the first act of terrorism?
I could answer, but I think he's asking you, man.
I know it's not new. I know in the 11th century, I'm gonna have trouble pronouncing this. In the 11th century, secret followers of Al-Hassan ibn al-Sabah, who were taught to believe in nothing and dare all, carried out these very swift and very treacherous murders of fellow Muslims, and they did it in a state of religious ecstasy. As a matter of fact, young men between 12 and 20 were given hashish and smuggled into I really don't know what to call it. They were smuggled into a kind of specially designed pleasure garden complete with concubines. They were told this was paradise and that the master's angels would carry them back if they carried out murders of the master's enemies.
Ah, temptation. I have named thee, and thy name is woman.
This is Sam Seaborn, Deputy Communications Director. Now, don't be frightened when I tell you now that in this room, Sam is the knowledgeable terrorism expert. The good news is that in this government, we have some extremely knowledgeable terrorism experts.
I heard I was needed, I came.
We were talking about am I pronouncing this right? Al-Hassan ibn al-Sabah?
Yeah, from the 11th century.
Yeah.
By the way, the Arabic name for their secret order has survived until today. Can anybody guess what it was, the Arabic name? You know.
Assassins.
Assassins. That's right.
Yeah, we don't call on him.
What's going on?
I'm supposed to be at a meeting at Treasury.
I had a 6 o'clock on the Hill. Now I'm stuck here, you know, talking with well-dressed children who can't vote.
You know a lot about terrorism?
I dabble.
What are you struck by most?
It's 100% failure rate.
Really?
Not only do terrorists always fail at what they're after, they pretty much always succeed in strengthening whatever it is they're against.
It was a little fun.
It was not fun.
You should have had some pie.
I have to get back to work. And you being a congresswoman, I'm sure you need to be back out there, you know, screwing the people.
I should tell you something,
What?
in the interest of full disclosure.
What?
The other night I was out on a date. We had a couple glasses of wine. He pulled the car up, bumped the guy ahead of us. The cop was there. I was going to give him a blood alcohol test, but then he recognized me.
It's fine.
I'm just saying.
You did say, officer, I'm a member of Congress. Isn't there anything we can do about this?
No.
Who were you out with?
A guy named Victor Stipe.
Executive advisor for the Orioles?
Yeah.
You went out on a date with the executive advisor for the Baltimore Orioles?
Toby, are you upset that I went out on a date? Or are you upset that I went out on a date with someone who plays in the same division as the Yankees?
Honest to God, I'm not sure.
Mandatory minimums, Toby.
What are you doing getting into cars with guys that have been
Because I'm a
drinking?
grown
That's what
woman, I'm
taxi
gonna give 'em
cabs are
whatever
for.
car- yes.
Also, I can still do that.
You'd come pick me up with a date.
If it wasn't an Oriole, absolutely, or a Red Sox. In fact, just take the National League, would you?
Toby, I'm not kidding. Mandatory minimums.
Go away.
It's good seeing you.
Andy,
Yeah.
let me have the pie.
Oh, good. Can you ask Charlie to get me some background on desalination technology when he gets back from the Hill? What? Maybe you should take a week, go back to New York.
I don't want a week.
You don't have to want it. I'm just not sure you're doing yourself any good here right now.
I'll be fine.
I'm not sure you're doing us any good here right now. There's some things falling through the cracks.
What?
Little stupid stuff, remarks to the Fraternal Order of Police, which I care about not at all. I'm happy to take it off your plate. You just need to tell me.
I'll do it.
You will. How are David's kids doing?
Just great.
If that's where you should be, there's nothing more important.
I'm aware of what's important in this landscape. Thanks.
When you lose somebody like that young and healthy, and go on to some senseless cancer.
Can we not do this, please?
Give yourself some time to sit with his kids and look at his picture.
I don't want to look at his picture. He did this. He did this. You understand? He sat in a garage with the engine running.
He was sick.
No. He was diagnosed. Could have had years. But instead this. His wife finds him. What if one of his kids had just drop everything and walk away? It's Jewish tradition that you don't leave the body alone before the funeral. Someone stays and guards it. And I sat in that room for hours watching him. Trying to figure out what could have gone through his brain. not interested in looking at his picture.
Want some water? No. Scotch?
No.
You want me to go?
No.
Who'd you talk about it with, Toby?
C.J. Craig.
Frost thinks.
I know what Frost thinks about everything. If it rains on a picnic, Frost thinks Al-Qaeda seeded the cloud.
Why do you keep him in the job?
He's a good analyst. Good analysts spend a lot of time being wrong.
Funny, at Defense Intelligence, we like our guys to be right. Different strokes.
Are there Islamic extremists who dream of a new China to Spain caliphate? Sure.
Do we think they're going to start by assassinating the Palestinian chairman and the president of Kazakhstan? I mean, come on.
Margaret, will you call Leo for me?
When you spoke to Greg Brock of the New York Times, you were aware you were speaking on the record?
I'm their White House communications director. I have a rough understanding of the protocol involved when speaking with journalists.
So that would be a yes.
That would be an of course.
And your intention in conveying this information to Greg Brock was that it be published in his newspaper?
Yes.
You were aware this information was classified?
Excuse me?
Answer the question.
You're asking me if I knew that the military space shuttle was classified? One of the most closely held pieces of information I've experienced in my 7.5 years in the White House, which no one would so much as hint at, much less acknowledge, much less ever actually discuss. Which revelation of same caused a governmental security crisis, international consternation, and the launching of 3 separate investigations. You're asking me if I realized it was classified? Yeah, I had a vague inkling.
Were you personally authorized to have this information?
Alana Waterman, Mr. Babish. I'm Mr. Ziegler's attorney, and as such, I must inform counsel that my client will not be answering any further questions.
It's okay, thank you.
No, it's most certainly not okay, and you're not to say anything else.
You know, I'm really getting fed up to here with lawyers ordering me around.
Probably should have considered that before passing state secrets to New York Times reporters. Which brings up, did you leak to anyone other than Greg Brock?
Do not answer that.
No.
If I may have a word in private with my client?
I'll be right outside.
I really appreciate your concern, but I am taking full responsibility, and I am prepared and ready to face the consequences.
Well, that's very noble and very stupid.
Thank you.
You have to listen to me now. If you were truly the only one involved...
I was.
Well, then that's unfortunate, because it means you have no bigger fish to turn over to the prosecutor, which is what he and the Congress will be looking for, and obviously would have been the best and fastest way to make a deal.
I don't care about that.
Well, it's my job to. And we're not starting with a lot of bargaining chips, and we have less every time you open your mouth.
I'm not looking to cut a deal.
Oh, really? Well, because the last time I checked, the sentencing guidelines, even for somebody who's a first-time offender, were 63 to 78 months jail
63
time.
to 78. How do they come up with those numbers? Pick out of a hat? Dartboard?
You have an obligation you're
Please
not
don't bring up my
considering here.
kids.
When you hire someone like me, you take on a responsibility to my reputation. If you decide you want to go down in some quasi-orgasmic blaze of self-pitying, self-destructive, self-aggrandizing, attempted glory, all anyone's going to say is, how did Alana Waterman, that smart, tough, savvy Washington infighter, let her client do something so crushingly boneheaded moronic as to get himself 6 years in jail? Now you have a decision to make. If you want me to continue as your attorney, when the White House counsel re-enters the room, you either decline to answer any further questions, or you watch me walk not only out of this room, but off the case.
Who was it who first informed you of the existence of a classified military space shuttle?
I decline to answer on the advice of counsel.
Please wait here.
Well, you certainly earned your fee today.
I'm deeply gratified that you decided to heed my guidance.
No, I just meant it was the first time tonight he used the word please. I honestly couldn't say.
I'm saying only owning one stock issue.
Yes.
It's pretty unusual.
And I'm saying I really couldn't say. I have no background or education in the stock market. I'm a speechwriter.
You're the communications director, Toby. You can't tell me you've no
I can't tell
understanding.
you, Leela. Ask the Treasury Secretary. Ask the chairman of the Federal Reserve. I'm a total novice at this.
Toby.
I have never owned a share of stock until last year.
What made you buy the stock?
I used the website. I like the company.
$5,000 worth?
That's right.
And now the stock is worth $125,000?
Leila, I'm as surprised as anybody. I didn't know until the accountant called your office.
Did you know that 71% of the increase happened the day after Cal Poly professor Theodore McGregor testified to the Commerce Committee on the future of internet stocks?
No, of course I didn't. I'm telling you that I never pay any attention to, yes.
Excuse me, Toby.
Yeah.
Sam says they got all 5.
Tillinghast.
Yeah.
Thank you.
The White House counsel's office is going to want to investigate.
Leela, I've got 48 hours to a crucial floor vote. Is there any way that...
you were the one who arranged for McGregor to testify in front of Commerce in the first place.
I grew up on the same block as Ted McGregor. He's very well respected.
No, I understand. But market analysts widely attribute the jump in technology stocks to the testimony of, among others, your boyhood friend. Are you telling me you didn't know what he was going to say to the committee?
I'm telling you that not only didn't I know what he was going to say to the committee, not only didn't I care what he was going to say to the committee, but if he had sat in my office while I typed up his testimony for him, I wouldn't have understood what he was going to say to the committee.
Toby.
What?
Friend to friend.
Yeah.
You know that manipulating the stock market or trying to or conspiring to manipulate the market in any way is a federal crime, right?
Leela, are you saying that I should be talking to a lawyer?
Toby, I'm saying you're talking to one right now.
Senator Crossfield. Yay. Senator Crossfield votes yay.
Congratulations, everybody. Congratulations. Line up. Only one drink per person. Who's driving?
Put it down. Put it down. Put it down. No champagne.
We're just getting ready.
Put it down. Everyone in this room, let me have your attention, please. The law of our land mandates that presidential appointees be confirmed by a majority of the Senate, a majority being half plus 1 for a total of what, Ginger?
51.
51 yay votes is what we see on these screens before a drop of wine is swallowed. Because there's a little thing called what, Bonnie?
Tempting fate?
Tempting fate is what it's called. In the 3 months this man has been on my radar screen, I have aged 48 years. This is my day of jubilee. I will not have it screwed up by what, Bonnie?
By tempting fate.
By tempting fate? These things take patience. These things take skill. These things take luck. In the 15 months we've been in office, what kind of luck have we had, Ginger?
Bad luck.
What kind of luck?
Very bad luck.
We've had very bad luck. Where's Josh?
Josh,
Yeah.
we gotta go. They're already at 19 yay votes.
What's this message about? I need to talk to Mandy about a banana bar. Is that what that says?
Panda bear.
Panda bear?
Yes.
That's a D?
Yeah.
And that's an E?
Yeah.
All right. You know, it'd be helpful if you could just show me where one word ends and the next one begins.
We have to go.
She wants to talk to me about a panda bear?
Yes.
You sure you got the message right?
Have I ever gotten a message wrong?
No.
Then maybe the benefit of the doubt might not be monumentally out of line.
Panda's what I think it is, right?
Yes.
Little Australian thing eats the bark off the koala tree.
That's a koala bear, I believe you're describing.
The panda's the other one.
Josh, how can you not know the difference between a panda bear and a koala bear?
You know, for someone who hasn't quite mastered the alphabet.
My penmanship is distinctive.
Penmanship is illegible. Hey, Mel.
Where's Sam?
He's going to be watching the Mendoza vote.
Can you believe him?
Sam?
Yeah.
Can I believe him?
Yeah.
No.
I think you know a guy.
Yeah.
You don't know what I'm talking about, do you?
No.
Okay.
Okay.
Toby!
Joshua.
Want some champagne?
No.
What the hell?
Ginger.
Tempting fate.
Okay, go grab Leo.
It's distinctive penmanship style, Josh.
Go.
Not unlike Salvador Dali.
Please get Leo.
I can't believe you're talking like this.
Leo.
It's a book jacket, Sydney. It's a dust cover.
Leo.
We're really gonna make a federal case out of a book jacket? I mean, we're literally gonna make a federal case out of
Jonas
this?
says it's time.
Sydney, I'm gonna bring him up here and talk to him. But I gotta say, we're about a minute and a half from closing what wasn't the easiest confirmation process in American history. So you'll understand if I'm not giddy as a schoolgirl about the thought of running once again into the warm embrace of the Senate Judiciary
Leo.
Committee. Goodbye.
What was that?
An appointment to a justice post favors reparations to African Americans.
What for?
Capturing their ancestors and keeping them as slaves.
What kind of reparation?
Money.
Hey, honey.
Senator Pearson votes yay.
Toby?
Not yet.
Our day of Jubilee?
Not yet.
Senator Petersman, yay.
Sam,
Senator Petersman.
It's my day of Jubilee.
I despise you and everything you stand for.
All right, my day was a little bit better a few seconds ago, but that's all right.
How could you write that position paper?
Which position paper?
Don't play dumb with me.
No, honestly, I am dumb. Most of the time I'm playing smart.
Sam, the position
Mallory,
paper.
you can't be thinking about ruining my day of Jubilee by yelling at me about school vouchers.
I was strongly considering it, yes.
Mallory.
50, here we go, baby! Sam, Toby, you're about to put a guy on the Supreme Court.
Senator Rendell.
Yay. Campaigns aren't about the candidates.
No?
About the voters. How are we going to create jobs? How are we going to fix health care? How are we going to make the lights go on? How are we going to protect ourselves?
Then you want to ask if the plumber knows which direction the pipes run, don't you? Forget the plumber. Don't. We want leadership to sound and to feel like, instead of appealing to our least expensive, however legitimate desire to feel good about ourselves, don't we want
All right, that's it. I can't take it.
He started it.
I'm not kidding. I have such an impulse to knock your heads together. I can't remember the last time I heard you two talk about anything other than how a campaign was playing in Washington. Kathy needed to take a second job so her dad could be covered by her insurance. She tried to tell you how bad things were for family farmers. You told her we already lost Indiana. You made fun of the fair, but you didn't see they have livestock exhibitions and give prizes for the biggest tomato and the best heirloom apple. They're proud of what they grow. 8 months of transportation, the kindness of 6 strangers, random conversations with 12 more, and nobody brought up Bartlett versus Ritchie but you. I'm writing letters on your behalf to the parents of the kids who were killed today. Can I have the table, please?
Flight's delayed?
Yeah.
Me too. I'm going to St. Louis.
Washington.
I'm with my daughter. She's up upstairs in the room. But we were out here looking at Notre Dame.
Yeah.
Got kids?
No.
Where do you take your oldest to look at colleges? It's an incredible feeling. You wish they'd go to college across the street from your house, but, you know.
Yeah. Jack Daniels rocks. My boss went to Notre Dame.
Beautiful campus. I've never seen anything like it. She's not gonna get to sleep tonight. You see what happened in the market today?
Yeah, I saw. You invested?
Mutual fund that's supposed to send her to college. I never imagined it. $55,000 a year. I'd have trouble making ends meet. And my wife brings in another 25. My son's in public school. It's no good. I mean, there's 37 kids in a class. No art and music, no advanced placement classes. Other kids, their mother has to make them practice the piano. You can't pull my son away from the piano. He needs teachers. And I spend half the day thinking about what happens if I slip and fall down on my own front porch, you know. It should be hard. I like that it's hard. Putting your daughter through college, that's a man's job. Man's accomplishment. But it should be a little easier. Just a little easier. Because in that difference is everything. I'm sorry. I'm Matt Kelly.
I'm Toby Ziegler. I work at the White House. You have a minute to talk? We'd like to buy you a beer.
Okay. I brought coffee. You seem to be out. I've given a lot of thought to the heartwarming insight you shared with me about how the president has decided that Santos is a loser, and I think you're full of it.
8 packets of Splenda, you can rustle up a bagel.
This isn't about the president who doesn't think Santos can win. It's about you don't think he can win.
That's true, I don't.
Because it will kill you to see me do this and succeed. You're not wired for such an event. Your entire neurological infrastructure would fritz out.
You really think I brewed up some sort of Freudian fratricidal mania built around your success? You don't think I have anything other than that against the Democratic nominee for president?
Name something else, please.
He's not presidential material.
Why?
Why? Because he left. He left Congress. He left Washington to go home and do small, important work. You had to haul him by the hair out of the family bed. Did you never stop to wonder if that was a good choice?
You stepped up. When presented with the opportunity.
Man in that job shouldn't have to be presented with anything. It's for someone who grabs it and holds on to it. For someone who thinks the gods have conspired to bring him to this place, that destiny demands of him this service. You don't have that kind of drive, that hubris? How in the hell are you going to make the kind of decisions that stump every other person in this country? How in the hell are you going to hold that kind of power in your hands?
You don't know he's not that man.
You don't know that he is. Is he? Look me in the eye and tell me that you know. Without a shadow of a doubt, you know. That's why the other guy wins. A couple of nights before the State of the Union.
Yeah.
Wasn't that also the night you saw satellite pictures of India moving on Kashmir?
Yeah.
India and Pakistan were staring each other down. Control of some nuclear weapons had been put in the field.
Yeah.
So in the middle of I don't know what you call it.
An episode.
You were in the Situation Room as Commander-in-Chief.
I know. I can't believe we're all still here.
Mr. President.
The episode was over. Leo was with me. The chairman of the Joint Chiefs was with me, as were the secretaries of State and Defense.
Do you receive medication?
I'm sorry?
Do you receive medication?
I get injections of beta-seron.
From whom?
From a doctor.
None of your current doctors are aware of your condition, Mr. President. Is your wife medicating you?
I think it'd be best, while temperatures are running a little high, that you refer to my wife as Mrs. Bartlet or the First Lady.
Yes, sir.
What you got, Leo?
They'd like a few more minutes.
The FAA?
Yeah.
Talk me through what heightened security means.
Well, they deploy more uniformed police, and the dogs, they hand search luggage.
They discontinued.
Curbside check-in, yeah. Eliminate the first 2 rows of short-term parking.
Okay, they want a few minutes?
Yeah.
Toby's concerned that the peaceful solution I brokered in Kashmir last year was the result of a drug-induced haze.
I was there with him. So was Fitz. So was Cashman, Hutchinson, Burial.
Well, that's fantastic.
Toby.
None of you were elected.
I was elected. They were appointed. Vice President was elected. He has the constitutional authority to assume my office.
Last May, he didn't. He didn't last May when you were under general anesthesia.
That's because I never signed the letter, but I don't think I got shot because I got MS.
No, I don't think you did either, sir. I meant that during a night of extreme chaos and fear, when we didn't yet know if we'd been the victims of domestic or foreign terrorism, or even an act of war, there was uncertainty as to who was giving the national security orders, and it was because you never signed a letter. So I'm led to wonder, given your condition and its lack of predictability, why there isn't simply a signed letter sitting in a file someplace. And the answer, of course, is that if there was a signed letter sitting in a file someplace, somebody would ask why. The commander-in-chief had just been attacked. He was under a general anesthetic. A fugitive was at large. The manhunt included every federal, state, and local law enforcement agency. The Virginia, Maryland, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, and Delaware National Guard units were federalized. The KH-10s showed Republican Guard movement in southern Iraq. And 12 hours earlier, an F-117 was shot down in the no-fly, and the vice president's authority was murky at best. The National Security Advisor and the Secretary of State didn't know who they were taking their orders from. I wasn't in the Situation Room that night, but I'll bet all the money in my pockets against all the money in your pockets that it was Leo, who no one elected. For 90 minutes that night, there was a coup d'etat in this country.
And the walls came tumbling down. I feel fine, by the way. Thanks for asking.
Sir.
No, Leo. Toby's concern for my health is moving me in ways...
Mr. President.
Yeah! You know, your indignation would be a lot more interesting to me if it weren't quite so covered in crap.
Sir.
Yeah.
Mr. Garrett.
Thanks. Are you pissed because I didn't say anything, or are you pissed because there were 15 people who knew before you did? I feel fine, by the way. Thanks for asking.
Take the call in here. We'll step outside for a minute.
You were looking for me?
What do you want to talk about with the president?
Did I forget the secret password? We talked about my giving up communications, leaving it to Will and focusing on big picture.
This is not the time.
When will it be the time? Message of the day, top of the news hour. Second term, and we're acting like a losing campaign.
You're not going in there to lecture.
Stop protecting him.
It's my job to protect him. It's your job to get us back on message.
Will can do it. I'll supervise him.
You supervise him now?
What does that matter?
It matters because I need you doing what you're doing now. I'm holding this together with Scotch tape and baling wire.
We have an economic policy held together with Scotch tape and baling wire. FDR built the middle class in 100 days. How many days do we even have left?
49%. We can't start another New Deal.
How about fighting for the old one? Instead of haggling with Republicans over how much to cut? We created 9 million jobs. Now they're disappearing. Outsourcing, downsizing, buyouts. They built TVs in Mexico for $1 a day on dirt floors with cardboard walls.
And that's our fault.
It's on our watch, Leo. Where's our 100 days? Where's our great society? Where's our new frontier? Somebody's got to do what we came here to do. Those jobs aren't coming back. We lose or cave every battle we have with Congress, and we have a calendar, not a plan.
Will's gonna work for the vice president.
I'm asking the president not to let him.
He told Russell he could have him. It's done. You got a problem with your job?
I could use one of those ergonomic chairs.
Never mind.
The man just died out of respect for his memory and his family.
It would be wrong to name a successor on the day he...
Respect works.
I tell you this, though, I'm going to the gym today.
Okay, that doesn't seem to be about anything that interests me.
I'm just saying, Bernie Dahl has a heart attack, bam, right out of nowhere.
It's his 5th heart attack, Sam. He's 138 years old.
Yeah, well, these are highly stressful jobs. I haven't been to the gym in 3 weeks.
Sam, look at yourself. How much healthier do you want to be?
I'm just saying that if anybody needs me at lunch, I'm going to be at the gym. And that's going to be sad for me because I'm going to live longer than you.
Don't count on it.
Hey,
Toby. We are waiting a day to make our announcement out of respect, Josh.
for whom?
The dead. And how I wish I were one of them.
No, you're gonna love this meeting.
Betcha I'm not.
Toby.
It's locked down.
I know that.
It's locked down with some 15 votes to spare.
There is value to having these 3 congressmen on board.
What is it?
A clear and public demonstration that the president's liberal base hasn't turned their backs.
In the case of these 3 people, I'd like to see a clear and public demonstration that they've turned their backs and run as far as humanly possible.
I think you think it's beneath you to ask.
It is beneath me to ask. It's sewn up. By 15, we've got the trade bill. It's sewn up. And it's as bipartisan as we're likely to see. There was a victory, and we're the victors, and I'm not going in there hat in my hand.
No one's asking you to.
You're asking me to.
No, we're gonna do good cop, bad cop.
No, we're really not.
Why not?
Because this isn't an episode of Hawaii Five-0. How about you be the good cop, I be the cop that doesn't go to the meeting?
You have to go to the meeting. I told them you'd be at the meeting. If you're not there, they're gonna start right out insulted.
I go to this meeting, there's a decent chance they're gonna end up insulted, so.
Let's go.
I need to get to exercise more.
Tubby.
Gotta exercise more, gotta eat better.
Tubby, you're gonna sit in that room and you're gonna behave yourself. I swear to God you are. You are gonna sit there while I court these people's votes, and every so often you're going to smile so as to indicate warmth.
I'd still kick the crap out of you, though. We're clear on that, right?
Yeah.
What the heck are we waiting for?
Tubby.
I'll be nice.
The president's very serious about this.
Shouldn't be.
So you've told him many times, but here these people are, so I guess the president disagrees with you. Given that...
I understand. Let's go.
So you're just gonna sit there?
Yep.
If you open your mouth, it'll be to say something nice.
Yes. Where's Leo on the stock exchange?
We haven't had time to talk about it yet, but I think if we don't have her by 6, we gotta recommend that Leo instruct the Treasury Department to suspend trading.
That the president instruct the Treasury. Listen to me, there is no mechanism, none. There's no mechanism for presidential recusal. Leo can't give an order to the Treasury Secretary, and the Treasury Secretary can't follow it.
All right. I heard most of the briefing on the radio. You did great. For the rest of the night, they've got to get their information from us and not the agencies. I don't want it like she's on a milk carton. Josh?
I've already started the call.
535 congressmen and senators you've got to call. You're going to need a posse. State's got to call the ambassadors. Will, you got to be a lawyer. Sit in on all the meetings tonight in the council's office and report back to Josh right away. He's not going to have time to wait for a memo. Well, let's go. Oh, hey. This is... By the way, this is... The babies were born.
What babies?
The twins. Andy had the babies.
Oh.
That's where I was. I was at the hospital.
Oh, my God.
Are you kidding?
No. It just happened 10 days early.
Are they okay?
Yeah, they're great. 6 pounds, 1 ounce each.
God. Mazel tov.
Mazel tov.
Toby.
No, wait. Do they have names?
The boy does. He's named after Andy's grandfather.
What's his name?
Huck.
Huck. What a great name for a boy.
We've got to get back to work.
Yeah.
Toby. Okay.
Didn't realize babies come with hats. You guys crack me up. You don't have jobs, you can't walk or speak the language. You don't have a dollar in your pockets, but you got yourselves a hat. So everything's fine. I don't want to alarm you or anything, but I'm Dad. And for you, son, for you, this will be the last time I pass the buck. But I think it should be clear from the get-go that it was Mom who named you Huckleberry. I guess she was feeling like life doesn't present enough challenges to overcome on its own. And honey, you've got a name now, too. Your mom and I named you after an incredibly brave, an incredibly brave woman. Really not all that much older than you. Your name is Molly. Huck and Molly. So, what do I do? Well, you're gonna need food and clothes and doctors and dentists, and there's that. And should you have any questions along the way, I'm gonna be doing stuff like this. Huck, 'cause you're leaking a little bit out of your mouth there. I got it. You holding my fingers, son? Hey, Molly. Your brother's holding my hand. You wanna hold my hand?